Hello guys, it's Ilya right here, and this is a video from Scoutmaster series. This is the first video of this series you're watching. You don't need to watch any other videos of this series before watching this one. This video is a pretty standalone video, but after you watch it, check out other Scoutmaster videos with helpful tips. The link to the Scoutmaster playlist will be in the end of this video. So, today I want to talk to you about crew skills, consumables and equipment on a light tank. I see a lot of questions here and there about what to train, what to use on certain light tank. On most light tanks, the setup equipment and crew skills are very similar, and we're going to discuss it all now. Let's begin with the crew. The first perk for any light tank without any exceptions has to be Sixth Sense for the commander, of course, and camo for all the others. Remember that it's camo that makes your tank special. Focus on boosting camo in the first place, as training camo allows you to boost it significantly, thus get to the enemies a lot closer. As I have already covered in one of my previous videos, you can double your camo and let it get over 30%, sometimes closer to 35%, with the most invisible light tanks reaching numbers like 36-37%, or like RU-251, MX-3090, 5916, not even mentioning ELC with crazy more than 45% camo. Camo over 30% is generally enough for a light tank, over 32-33% is a good camo. Fight for every percent of the camo. 32 and 37% camo is very different. 5% extra camo against enemies 400 meters view range is 20 meters of extra safe distance to you. It's extra 20 meters to react to the appeared enemy, stop, turn around, hide for example. And if you are on tier 10 and playing against enemies with optics or other light tanks, that's even more of the advantage to you. If you can afford it, paint your light tank, because paint bonus is also rather significant. View range is only secondary because you boost view range much slower than you boost camo. And view range starts to pay off only when it's boosted significantly. So first to hold camo, only then go for the view range. The only exception can be the commander, who can get view range perk as a second perk, provided your light tank has good base camo, like aforementioned 5916 or RU-251. Do not trade view range on a commander on the light tanks which have less than 4 crew members. Remember that the total effect of camo perk is calculated as the average camo perk value for all crew members of the tank. If you don't train camo on the commander on a tank with 4 crew members, your camo will be at most 75% trained, which is still okay. If you don't train camo on a tank with 3 crew members, like French light tanks from tier 6 to 8, your camo will be only up to 66% boosted. If you don't train camo on a 2-people crew like AMX ELC, you will have your camo only 50% boosted, which is completely unacceptable. So if you have 2 or 3 crew members on the light tank, then the second perk of the commander has to be camo. If you have 4 or 5 crew members, then the second perk of the commander is debatable. It can be view range as well. After you get Sixth Sense, camo and view range perks, you can train whatever you find useful. For example, driver and gunner don't have any other important perks other than camo, loader as well in most of the cases. On the Chinese light tanks from tier 6 and higher, loader is also radio man, so you can train 2 view range perks at the same time. Commander and loader can both train view range perks as their second perks. It's a very significant advantage of the Chinese light tanks. You need fewer perks to boost camo and view range to the max. On the other tier 8 LTs, the commander is a radio man, which means that the loader has only camo as a useful perk, and the commander will need to train both recon and situational awareness. And yeah, situational awareness is obviously first, as its bonus is greater. Personally, for driver and gunner, I prefer gun handling perks, smooth ride and snapshot, because I find them more important to me. Some people train drivers' mobility perks like clutch braking and off-road driving. By the way, clutch braking adds more traverse speed. I find their effect totally negligible and unnecessary. Some people also take controlled impact to reduce received ramming damage and increase dealt ramming damage. I find it useless because I'm not going to ram anyone. I don't ram anyone often enough on a light tank for this to be so important. On a light tank, you have too little hit points to ram someone, better just load and shoot. The gunner doesn't have any other interesting perks apart from camo and gun handling. You can also see that I'm training firefighting next, and you might have questions to that. Why firefighting and why do you have no repairs? As I said a few times on this channel already, repairs make no sense on light tanks because the first time you're tracked, you use repair kit. The second time you're hit, you're dead. There is no need in getting fixed quicker, there is already nothing to fix. Now, why firefighting? That's a link to the consumables and equipment. By the way, when I get third perk done, I'll reset it for bars and arms, which gives view range and camo boosts, and then start third perks anew since they have immediate effect. Now to the consumables. Food gives you a very significant bonus. No armor class rather than light tank or SPG needs food so much. In case of light tank, among all positive effects, the most important are extra 5% of view range, which can be over 20 meters of extra view range, and over a percent of extra camo, which is not much, but in combination with view range boost, the total effect is very significant. I strongly recommend using food on light tanks. Yes, that costs a lot. Yes, you also fire a lot of gold on light tanks. If you ever need to shoot, that's usually gold. Light tanks kill your credits very quickly, especially if you fire a lot. That's just something you have to live with. So, I'm carrying food, which means that I don't have a fire extinguisher, it's a risk, but it does pay off in most of the cases. It pays off not in credits, but in effectiveness. With firefighting crew skill, at least, you won't burn to the ground if you are set on fire with the very first hit, which does happen sometimes. Again, you have right for only one mistake on a light tank. Either you're tracked, you fix and run away, or you are hit, set on fire, you put out the fire after burning, and you run away as well, and you're one shot in either of the cases. Oil and gas consumables don't give you enough advantage. It's not something you'll feel as much as you feel food, because extra 20 meters of view range for food will let you spot a lot of enemies much more easily. As for the equipment, the most important thing to use is optics. If you have credits only for one piece of equipment, then install optics in the first place. All the other equipment can wait. It's just not normal that your view range is smaller than the view range of enemy medium tanks. Optics is a complete must-have. In the second slot I put either ventilation for the view range and camo, the bonus is also quite good, or the vertical stabilizer if your view range is boosted well, or you are at least training view range perks. The third slot can be used for gun rammer, vertical stabilizer if you have ventilation in the previous slot, or binoculars. If you have view range boosted a lot, even gun lane drop is a possible option if the stabilizer is unavailable. Depends on the tank really, there is no universal recipe. If you don't know what equipment to take on a particular tank, you can always Google that or ask me in comments. For example, there is no point in gun rammer on MT25 because it will improve reload on insignificant 0.2 seconds, whereas binoculars will be much more useful on it, especially because MT25 lacks view range. Important to add, never ever use camo net on a light tank. As you know, camo net is active only after you stand still for 3 or more seconds. For a light tank, it means that the camo net is active after you already take some bush. The thing is that if you stand in a bush on a light tank, you are already invisible. It's almost impossible to spot you from more than 100 or 120 meters, which is very little. Camo net doesn't have any effect that could be helpful for a light tank. You waste your slot if you carry a camo net. Leave your opinion about this video in the comments. If you agree or disagree or want to add something, we can always discuss it there. Share this video with your friends and clanmates, turn your tomato friends into cucumber friends. Thank you for watching, check out our videos from this series for more tips, and see you in bushes.